Okay, so we have an update with my problems with the FX6. I want to catalog all of the issues along the way until it gets repaired. So last week I was filming at a shoot. I was getting close to the end of the card. I heard the horn that said you're getting close to finishing the capacity of your media. I stopped it, switched it out, and put a new card in there. Then that clip started flashing, and I was like, there's no way this card is filled up. I just formatted it and put it inside. Tried to hit stop, it would not stop. Tried to do whatever I could not get it to stop. It looked like it had frozen, and it came up with the error code E95-125. We're live on set, I don't have time to troubleshoot, so I could not get the recording to stop. I power off the camera. Thank goodness, that actually made it stop. So I assumed, of course, that clip will be corrupted. I shut it off mid-record. I put in a new formatted card, and that card had 2 corrupted files on it. The first 2 clips after were corrupted.
It's not about eating less, it's about eating more of the right foods. All I need from you is 5 minutes a day.
I didn't know this until later, so we just kept on shooting, and there was no more problems beyond that for the end of that shoot. I come home, I see we have 3 clips that are corrupted. Through some AI tools, my buddy Jay just saved the day because he was like, you had your A7S III rolling, right? That had audio? And I was like, well, it just had the scratch mic on it.
It's not about eating less, it's about eating more of the right foods. All I need from you is 5 minutes a day.
Send it to me. I'll be able to run it through the new Premiere or Adobe Podcast AI. He cleaned it up and it sounds like perfectly good audio.
It's not about eating less, it's about eating more of the right foods. All I need from you is 5 minutes a day.
So we were able to save that shoot besides the clip that got fully corrupted on the FX6. But we did have it on the B camera. So it really, really helped just having that B camera. Now I'm always gonna have a little bit cleaner audio on the B cam, if there is a B cam. But I need to find out what is the issue. So I took it to YouTube and I said, help me out. Who has been in this problem? What did you do? I got flooded with comments. Extremely valuable insight. Some people saying I had a slightly different error code, but it was still E95. It wasn't E95-125, but I had the flashing thing. Now that DM was actually on Instagram, and he said, ever since that's happened, when I go to film with my FX6, I have to turn it on and off again a few times. Well, we had both looked at that error code. The error code said that there was problems because there's problems to the main board because of third-party accessories. The only third-party accessory I use is the power solution, the Tilta V-mount plate. It goes straight into the DC input. So V-mount, like nothing going into the Sony battery compartment that has electronic pass-through. It's only fed in through that AC. So I was like, okay, well, you know, power, if the power voltage was off or something, that could easily have messed up the camera. One of the first questions Sony asked when I started telling the problem was, they said, what lens did you have? I said, Sony GM lenses. They said, what side handle do you have? I said, the Sony OEM side handle. So the only third-party accessory is the Tilta V-mount plate. Unless you want to consider the media as being third-party. I use Angelbird media. And I think the media and the power solution are equal players in where the culprit could be. The electronic, if there was instability in the electronics power supply, that speaks for itself, obviously. But I'm thinking, one, it's the media because on that error code, it did say media A slot error. And remember, I said I had just filled up a card. So perhaps there wasn't enough space on the card, it couldn't wrap it up completely or something where the problem persisted as the new cards were put in. This is just guessing. And that's where I am with a lot of this. I'm trying to take a lot of the info from other people and apply it, see if it matches up with mine. So that guy started using BPU batteries from Sony, and he said the problem persists. So for his case, it might be something that the camera was damaged, and now even if you use OEM batteries, the problem's still there. That makes sense. I had a bunch of people say, it's the Tilta plate, it's the Tilta plate. So I'm gonna play both sides. The side of that it's the Tilta plate's fault is if you look at the Komodo users, they had nightmares with the Tilta plate. It existed pretty strictly inside their experience, but it was frying cameras, it was messing up the SDI protocol, or it could be that too. But a lot of Komodo users have just written off Tilta electronics. But the Tilta V-mount plate for the FX6, the Mark I, where it looks like it's part of the body, is so popular and so highly used. There's no way I could be the only person after 2 years to have run into this problem. If it is that Tilta plate, there's no way I'm the only one. And then that's where the next DM came, and my buddy Jake said, oh man, it hurts. He goes, I had that exact same scenario you're describing. It happened with my FX9. It persisted, and I had to send it in, and now we don't use those. So for him to have the exact same error code, the same flashing, the same third-party power process is, leading me to believe, oh, maybe it is this Tilta. I had a bunch of people say, that's why you need to use wooden camera. And the problem with me accepting that is it's still third-party power. However, all the people are saying, yeah, but I haven't had this issue with wooden camera. And I said, I would have said the exact same thing last week. If you had asked me, give me a testimonial on the Tilta V-mount plate, I would say, oh, flawless for 2 years, no problem, 100% recommend it. And so the recommendation to use a different third party just because it hasn't had an issue for you now doesn't have as much weight for me. I'm just like, well, not yet, because I had perfect usage for 2 years. So now I've had a lot of comments saying it's most likely the media. It said media error, and that is definitely plausible. So I use Angel Bird V90 SD cards, the 126 variant or 128 gigabyte variant and the 64, and both of them were damaged. And originally I thought it was just the lower capacity one was damaged. Both of them were. But that's also a little sus too. You're saying I've had no problems with Angel Bird, and then back-to-back clip on the end of this card and 2 clips to start the next card, they both failed at the same time? I don't know. And it could be a combination. So B&H is closed for another week. I really wish I could purchase a few things, because on my docket to purchase, to try to eliminate problems, is to go the Sony OEM route. Get the Sony Tough, I think it's CF Express B, I believe it is. I'm not used to it because I only use the SD cards. And just generally, people are recommending go with the CF Express. It's higher quality, more durable, faster, and most importantly, it's made by the manufacturer. So I'm gonna take that philosophy and run with it the whole way. So you think of the Sony engineers who designed the FX6. Well, under that same umbrella, and Sony engineers also designed the lenses to communicate perfectly. Okay, makes sense. And I have Sony GM lenses. They also have the Sony side handle, great, and still first party. And then they have Sony BPU batteries that have been tested for 100% compatibility. And then you have the Sony media. So in theory, I completely understand what Sony is saying of, we guarantee everything we produce. We built it. And we will not be able to insure third-party stuff. I get that. That makes all the sense in the world. I'm just looking at the anecdotal evidence of so many people using V-mounts for their FX6. I don't know rarely anyone who does use the Sony BPU batteries for their FX6. I don't know if I already mentioned it, but the guy who said he had the same exact error code, the E95-125, I asked him what plate we're using. Let's kind of, I don't know if I want it or don't want it to be Tilta, and he said it was the wooden camera plate. So that makes me think, okay, it's just third party in general. Or it could be the media. See, I'm just going back and forth, and that is why today I went downtown, went to FedEx, and shipped them the camera. Extremely scary to declare $6,000 as the package value. This was really tough to package, watch the lady package it up. We bubble wrapped it, put it in a small box, and then bubble wrapped that and put it in a bigger box. And it came out to around $130 for shipping. So that is on its way right now. I talked to Dave Winters, the cranky cameraman, and he said expect for 1 to 2 week turnaround time. I know there's going to be a diagnostic fee, the actual repair and labor. So I'm expecting at least $500, and I have a fearful feeling that they're going to say, we don't recommend any third-party accessories. And I will say, yeah, I know, but I wanted to get conclusive data. Why did this happen? Can you tell me if it was media or power, or are you just going to give me a generic overall statement? Don't use anything non-Sony. So someone said that there was a data log in the FX6, and while a bunch of people told me you should do a factory reset on the camera, that might clear it up. If I factory reset that data log is gone. So I did not perform the factory reset because I want the Sony engineers to take a look at that. And I can't even recreate the problem. I brought the camera home, did a bunch of tests using the same cards, the same power supply, using the BPU power supply, and didn't have any luck. So I want to see what they say. So that's where we're at. I'm going to keep updating once they send me the unit back or correspond via email, and I can figure out where is the pain point here.